Howdy, folks. It's John once again. And as I've mentioned before, I tend to save up enough money to place orders with Mandarake of Japan once or twice a year. So, in particular, because my friend Phil wanted to order a few small items, that motivated me to place another order. So, if you're curious to see what kind of bizarre stuff I tend to purchase mainly for my own collection through Mandarake, stay tuned, and we'll take a look at what's in these two boxes. Now, before I open these, I want to contextualize exactly what's here. Most of this is for my private collection. Some of this is stuff that I'm hoarding as duplicates or spares to eventually possibly or probably sell at local conventions. Furthermore, in order to provide full disclosure, this order, these two boxes I have here, totaled just a little bit under $700. Out of that $680 or $690 something US, about $300 of that was shipping cost because it came by DHL Express. That works out to, about, I think it should be about 150, because it was 310,000 yen, which was probably a little bit under $300 US. So we're looking at about $150 in shipping. Now, naturally, you might think to yourself, like, that's a whole lot of money for shipping. However, for one thing, Phil and I placed this order on a Monday. I got the shipping confirmation email from Mandarake on a Wednesday. The packages were at my doorstep on Friday. So that's how quickly that $300 got the two boxes to me. Moreover, I don't really mind spending a lot on shipping to have stuff here rapidly, so that way it's in transit for less time, so there's less time or potential for it to get damaged or lost. Moreover, there are over 100 items total here, so with over 100 items, I believe the average per item shipping cost came out to something like $2.68 an item for shipping. So I tend to hate people that say without further ado and then delay. So as usual, we could be stylish and open up these boxes, but there's no reason to use a stylish pocket knife if I have a appropriate box cutter. So I'm going to start with the lightweight box. This is the smaller of the two boxes, and I didn't check the weight. This one is 24 kilograms, which, does that sound right? That doesn't sound right. Maybe it's 24 kilograms totaled, because I think the other box also says 24 kilograms, and I think I ended up measuring out to be something like 52 pounds. So possibly the combined shipment of both of these boxes was 52 pounds. But my intention is to show you what's in here and as best I can explain what this stuff is, what I paid for it, why I bought this stuff. As I've mentioned before, Mandarake ships very securely. Plenty of bubble wrap, which is certainly a good thing. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to move this box and then we'll take a look at what's in here. So the first thing that's in here, ironically, that I'm going to pull out is not an anime item. This is a roll of Spider-Man Universal Studios Japan duct tape. I on first thought, I wondered to myself, why on earth would Spider-Man have black duct tape? But then I thought about it more. Maybe it's sticky, I guess? Maybe Japan associates sticky with Spider-Man? But the very fact that this is a brand new sealed roll of Universal Studios Japan Spider-Man duct tape, and it was $3 plus the $2.68 or roughly in shipping. Made me think that this was just something bizarre and unique enough that for the relatively low price I wanted to have it. You may remember with the previous Mandarake order, we acquired one Hige figure, Hige of particularly and most notably ex-Japan. I remember Phil mentioning that if we found one of the other ones, especially affordably, I should pick it up. So this is the alternate version Hige figure. This one, judging by the price tag, was 200 yen. So which means that even including express shipping, this was under $5. So this is a thank you for putting up with me, and thank you for helping me record this unboxing video present to Phil for about $5. I really love getting bizarre anime items. This is one of the things that struck me as particularly bizarre. I don't know the story behind this, but obviously it is a box of Pocky-themed gunpla. Apparently, the Gundam can actually hold a stick of Pocky in place of a beam saber, so that's kind of neat. I don't know if I'm going to keep this for myself or if I'm going to sell this, because I've never been a huge Gundam fan, but I do like bizarre items, so I will probably hang on to this as a strange novelty. The price tag on this was 300 yen, so pretty affordable as a strange novelty. On the subject of Gundam, I also picked up this, let me see if I can see this correctly. This is a Gundam, Gundam 0083 card battler. The katakana here is so small, it's difficult for me to read it. I believe that's Gundam 0083 card battler figure. I previously to ordering this had no idea that Gundam 0083 card battler was a thing. Judging by the bottom of the box, it is what I anticipated. It's an arcade digital trading card game. Apparently, there are 3 color variations of this girl. Again, as I mentioned, I don't know anything about this figure. However, judging by the character design, I am guessing that this might be by... I told Phil before we started recording this that we were just going to wing it. So I apologize that off the top of my head, I have forgotten the name of the Kuroro Gunso creator and character designer, because he's also the character designer for Kimono Friends, and this particular character design especially looks like his, so I suspect that that's who the character designer for this is. But this figure, which it's a cute looking girl Gundam figure, I may decide to sell this, I may keep it. This was 200 yen, so this was under $2. I have, I just realized now I'm a little bit slightly disappointed. I am a fan of Kimono Friends. When the Kimono Friends Serval nendoroid figure was announced, I pre-ordered one immediately, so I did get one of those immediately upon release. However, I did not order the matching Kaban figure. So it's bothered me for a while that I didn't have the matching Kaban. On Mandarake, I had the option of the standard Kaban for 2,500 yen, or the version that included the Good Smile store pack of bonus accessories for 3,500 yen. I decided to myself that I'm not going to resell this. I'm not going to open it and pose it and display it, so I really don't need to pay $10 more for the sealed bag of Good Smile store bonus accoutrements. So I went for just the cheaper figure alone. But I've realized now that I've got this, that this is one of the smaller Nendoroid size boxes rather than the traditional larger size box. So the serval is in the traditional size box, but Kaban is not in the matching shaped box. So this frustrates my mild sense of OCD slightly, but at least I have both of them. And also, as you can see, I also have a Nishizumi Miho from Girls in Panzer Nendoroid figure. I'm a moderate fan of Girls in Panzer. I have not watched all of the anime, but I have watched enough of it that I am a fan. And moreover, I bought this Miho Nendoroid because, as I recall, yes, actually, I thought that this was 1,000 yen, or roughly $10, but actually it was even cheaper than that. This was $8, or with currency conversion, probably $7 and change before shipping. So in other words, including express shipping, I probably got this for about $10 US shipped from Japan. So a Nendoroid figure, especially a primary character from a very popular anime for $10 is a steal. So I have watched, well, actually, let me correct myself. I have not watched the 4th and 5th Hozuki no Reitatsu OADs because they have not been fan subbed. So if there's any translators out there, please get to work on those. I'm jesting, but I'm not. I do love the Hozuki no Reitatsu franchise. You may or may not be able to see these Zashiki Warashi girls in the background, but the Momoko SD figure from Hozuki no Reitatsu was very, very affordable. This is a prize catcher figure. It includes one of the strange goldfish flowers that are, if you've watched a fair amount of the show, you know what those are. However, this figure, is there a price tag on this? There's no price tag on this. I believe this was, I think this was $1. It was it was really super cheap. This is sealed, so I'm not going to bother to open it right now. However, I bought this for a friend. This is a rubber, one of those thin, flat rubber keychains or cell phone mascots. However, this is from the Godzilla, the Genrobuchi written Godzilla Monster Planet anime. This was actually kind of pricey, 200 yen for a little vinyl or rubber mascot keychain. But the point is, as I mentioned, I wanted to try and buy as many items as I could without drastically inflating the shipping cost in order to lower the average per item shipping cost. So, Godzilla Monster Planet keychain or cell phone charm. There should be 2 of these. These are matching Son Goku Ichiban Kuji Rising Fighter with Dragon Ball Legends drinking glasses. Now, actually, now that I see the size of the cups, they're not quite as big, I think, as Phil and I guessed they would be. However, both of these are matching attractive cups with Son Goku in his adult form in red silkscreen printing. These were 200 yen a piece, so under $5 a piece, shipped from Japan in a week. There are, somewhere in this shipment, there are going to be a matching Kaban and Serval figures. If you've watched all of my unboxing videos, or if you've watched videos from me before, you may be aware that I actually already have one of the Kaban and one of the Serval. However, as I've said, I suffer from a very minor fanaticism. So it's not technically clinical OCD. However, because I only have one, or previously only had one Kanban and only one servo, I just couldn't bring myself to actually open the packaging and display them. So because these were very inexpensive, I decided to buy duplicates. So now that I have two of each of them, now I can actually comfortably open one and put them on a shelf behind me to display them. Clearly, as I mentioned, I am a fan of Kimono Friends, which is why I have the nendoroids and the Ichiban Kuji figures. And along with that sort of fanaticism, this is actually my third of the Ichigeki Sachu Hoi Hoi-san figure PlayStation 2 game bonus figure. This is the life-sized Hoi Hoi-san action figure that came with the $100 limited edition PlayStation 2 video game. The first one of these I purchased was actually missing a hand. At the time, this was such a rare figure that was the only one I could find in a Japanese video game store, and the cashier pointed out that it was missing a hand, and I said I'll buy it anyway. Later on, I was able to acquire a separate figure alone without the box, without the video game. Mandarake turned up with another one of these for $10 or 1,000 yen. Just because I love Hoi Hoi-san so much, even though I already have two of these, I just could not resist buying yet a third one. So I think maybe someday I'm going to try to film some little time stop motion movie or something with an army of little Hoi Hoi-san figures. Honestly, that will probably never happen, but I like to dream, so that's why I bought another one. Inside this package is, let's see what this is. Apologize for the delay there for a moment. The tape off. Alright. One of the reasons why I do this unboxing is because sometimes items turn out to be much different than I anticipated. On Mandarake, this was advertised as a Cutie Honey notebook. Now, I assumed that this was a staple-bound school notebook of writing paper. However, this appears to be a square-bound, tiny little illustration book. Apparently, it has manga in it. Actually, if I'm reading this correctly, this is Comics Memo. So, given it's a Comics Memo, perhaps there are manga illustrations on every other page? That might make sense. Maybe there are manga illustrations on one page and the back is blank. I'm not sure. However, this was 100 yen, and clearly it's probably not very old. It mentions on the back that it has 4 designs and 80 sheets. So definitely not what I anticipated it would be, but for technically $3 shipped, I'm certainly happy to have it. This item is one that I also, once again, haven't decided for certain what I will do with. Tentatively, I bought this. Oh, wow. Tentatively, I bought this Baltan Seijin. Oh. I bought this Baltan Seijin coin bank for 300 yen because I was considering giving this to a friend who collects Ultraman monsters. Now, I do have a lot of other gifts in storage for this particular friend, so more recently I've been considering keeping this for myself. When I purchased it, I did not know that it was still in package, so that's why it surprised me a bit. Furthermore, I did not realize that it was a coin bank. I thought it was just a small SD Baltan Seijin figure. But it is certainly cute, so I will give some thought as to what I'm going to do with it. And the final thing in this box, let's see, this is an item I threw in once again in order to increase the number of items I was purchasing without drastically increasing the shipping cost. This is a Metacore, which is metal collection. These are the Bandai diecast figures. So, hopefully you can see, this is a very small, traditional standard Hello Kitty. However, it is fairly weighty because this is die-cast metal. So this is something I will put up on a shelf behind me. This die-cast metal Hello Kitty was 200 yen. So, oops. I'm going to open this. This large box is actually a little heavy for the table. So, let me open this. I want to explain, I purchased these items from the Mandarake Sahar warehouse. If you have any experience, particularly if you're not experienced with purchasing from Mandarake, the Sahar warehouse does not have a storefront, so all of the items are guaranteed to be in stock if they say they're available. So the benefit of purchasing from the Sahar warehouse is the fact that you can look at your shopping cart and see what your shipping cost is before checking out. So that's why I tend to purchase from this particular warehouse. I also tend to buy from Mandarake more than other places. For example, I was reminded lately that AnimeNation carries pre-owned merchandise. However, I think that if you are buying strictly anime figures, and particularly if you are looking for higher end figures, and especially if you're looking for more exclusive variant, like convention exclusive or store exclusive figures, then AnimeNation is indeed a good place to search. AnimeNation, I think, in general, has a more diverse selection of particularly higher-end Japanese anime figures than Mandarake typically does. However, the AnimeNation pre-owned site is extremely difficult to search. The search navigation options on the site are extremely limited. So unless you have an exceptionally broad range of interest in figures, or unless you literally just have hours and hours and hours to spend browsing through selections, I find personally that Mandarake is simply is a much more user-friendly website to search on, and Mandarake simply offers a much bigger diversity of merchandise. So that's why I tend to purchase from Mandarake rather than purchasing, for example, through AnimeNation or Otaku Mode or other varying options. So let's see what kind of stuff is in this package. The first thing that's in here is a Ikamusume document folder. You can see it's fairly substantial, has a clip front. I do end up carrying around a lot of comics, magazines, documents, so I'm particularly happy to have this. This does not have a price on it. As I recall, this was fairly inexpensive. However, due to its size, it would have an impact on my total shipping cost, depending on what other items I was purchasing. However, I manipulated the items in such a way that this did not end up increasing my shipping cost. So I will actually functionally use this, so I'm quite happy to have it. I've mentioned already in this recording that I like collecting bizarre and unusual items. I have a fondness for lesser known, not strictly, but I do tend to gravitate somewhat towards some of the lesser known and obscure anime. For example, Guda Guda Fairies or Guda Guda Yosei. I did not love this show. The CG on, for example, Kimono Friends is bad but passable. The CG on Guda Guda Fairies is really just obviously bad. The show is mildly amusing. However, the fact that I could get a triple pack of the fairies for 100 yen, sorry, for 1,000 yen, or I believe this was $10? Yes, this was $10 for the pack of all three figures, and I see that they have alternate faces, and they have accessories, which I did not know was in there, so this is even more interesting than I thought. Oh, all right, yes. They have alternate faces with their squinting eyes. So I'm happy to have this because it's the kind of unique, bizarre collectible item that you'll probably rarely, if ever, see in America. Some of you that have watched all of my videos will recognize what this is. I've purchased one of these before. This is the Great Mazinger Geta Robo Papercraft. This includes 2 different Mazingers and a Geta Robo bust that you can make with the craft paper and patterns included in this. This was 200 yen. I gave away the last one of these that I had, so when I saw that there was another one available, I decided that I would buy another one. I'm not sure, once again, if I will keep this one or sell or give away this one, but I think this is just simply an interesting item for the price. I did purchase a bunch of Dojinshi. This is a, judging by the cat icon on the back here, this might be a Da Capo or DC related Dojinshi, because I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this cat is the Da Capo mascot cat. However, I have really no idea what this Dojinshi is. I looked at the cover, and I thought that the cover was simply adorable, and this was 100 yen, so this was a complete blind buy. I have, as I said, I have no idea at all what this is, but the cover alone is worth 100 yen to me. This is a strange item. Typically, I am not a big fan of yaoi. I typically don't have a problem with it, but it's just simply not to my taste. However, a Japanese yaoi doujinshi featuring Godzilla and King Ghidorah is something so unique, so bizarre, that for $8 plus shipping or $10, yeah, this is something I want in my collection. Because this is, for the right audience, certainly a conversation piece. Another conversation piece, I was not aware that there are a lot of Japanese Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Dojinshi. I did not know that Ninja Turtles was as popular among Japanese fans as it is. Now, I don't know if it's because they're cute turtles. I don't know if that's because they're ninja. I don't know if it's because it's an American comic. I don't know if it's because of the animation. But even today, apparently, there is still quite a following for among Japanese fans for TMNT. However, this in particular, as you can see, is a pre-Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles unofficial fan book. This is a yaoi doujinshi. Perhaps the less I explain, the better. But if you know what this is, then you'll understand why I wanted to buy this for $1. I am not the biggest fan of Zettai Kareshi children. However, in my browsing on Mandarake, I did stumble across this particular issue of Shonen Sunday magazine. This does include the very first published chapter of Zettai Karashi. No, sorry, it's not Karashi. Zettai Karen Children. Sorry, Zettai Karen Children. This did get a 2-cour. It was a 50-something. What was a 48-episode long television series? Was it 52 episode? It was somewhere in that 50 area range television series, and it got a spin-off television series. So it was a pretty popular, long-running franchise. This issue was $3. So even though I'm not a big fan of the franchise, getting the first appearance for $3 was appealing enough to me that I considered this worthwhile. The other hefty magazine that I bought, this is the June 1994 issue of Afternoon magazine. Perhaps because of its age, perhaps because of its telephone book size. This one was actually 600. No, this one was 800 yen. So this was $8. However, the appeal of this is the first published ever chapter of Yokohama Shopping Log. I am aware that many of you may not be familiar with that particular title, but those of you who are familiar with Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko will understand the appeal of having its first appearance for about $10. Once again, to see what things are in person, this is an Aozora Shoujo Tai 801 TTS perfect file book. I expected this to be a more traditional MOOC-style illustration book. This appears as though it might be a data book or might actually be a novel. I'm not sure. It was 500 yen, so I took a chance on this, anticipating that this would be a conventional anime illustration book. Now that I see its dimensions, I'm not sure that that's what this is after all. But regardless, it was an experiment. It may turn out to be a treasure. This was a bit of a treasure, slightly more expensive than I would have liked it to be. This was 1,200 yen, which at $10 or $11 really isn't that bad for its age. Good Lord. Thinking about its age, this book is probably, close to 40 years old, actually. This is the Bavistock hardcover film comic. What year was this? Was this 86? No, it had to be. Was this 87? I think Bavistock may have been 1987, maybe 1988. That sounds a little bit late. This was probably 1987. I haven't got researched this. However, I think I have one illustration book from Bavistock. I don't think Bavistock is an exceptionally good anime, but it is an example of 80s weirdness. And moreover, this particular variety of hardcover film comics, there were, I don't even remember how many of them there were. There was one for California Crisis, one for Vampire Hunter D, one for Bavistock. So I may actually have a complete run of these variety of hardcover film comics now. I do have a complete set of Cream Lemon hardcover film comics. However, my set is a mixture of first printing and second printing editions. This is a first printing copy. The one that was in my collection was a second print. This one, because it's a little discolored, because it's a little bit worn, there is definitely discoloring. Actually, there is drastic discoloring on this. This one was discounted to only 500 yen. So I decided at 500 yen just to have it in my collection so I'd have both the first edition and second edition. It was worth 500 yen to me. Unfortunately, the hardcover Cream Lemon film comics are starting to get a little bit collectible, a little bit pricey now. Now they're starting to run in the $20 to $30 a piece range. So I'm probably not wealthy enough to ever complete a straight complete run of either all first edition or all second edition copies. I do like collecting books from particularly obscure titles. This was a film comic from Mongkol Night. I'm sure that some of you are familiar with what this television series is or was. This first volume film comic was 200 yen. I don't have any other books from Mongkol Night, so I decided I would pick up this one. This again is not quite what I anticipated. This is a all-ages Dojinshi by Yasuhiro Naita. I hope the name is familiar to you. This is a book created by the creator of Trigun and Kettai Sensen before he created Trigun. Yes, Yasuhiro Naita. I expected this to be a more conventional Dojinshi, but in fact, this is a much thicker volume. I think this may be a collection of multiple Dojinshi. This is from Kamongegi Switchblade. That was the circle name that Yasuhiro Naita published. Oh, alright. Now that I look at this, actually, this is a collection of all of his self-published Dojinshi. I bought this with the tentative intention of selling it because it was a unique historical item and it was only $1. However, now that I know what this is, actually I'm going to keep this in my personal collection. There are, I think, 3 unique Japanese Stitch, as in Disney Lilo and Stitch items that I purchased to give to a friend of a friend. I did not know that there was such a thing as Tono to Stitch, as in Stitch, and I believe this is Nobunaga Oda. But this manga proposes what if Stitch had visited Japan in the feudal era. So this book I'm going to pass along to a friend of a friend who collects Stitch items. I believe there are 2 volumes of this, but since she can't read it anyway, I just bought one of them as a gift for her. Since I was making a deliberate effort to collect Dojinshi, I picked up, I believe, if I am correct, no, actually, okay, this is not exactly what I thought it was. I thought that this was the Yoshitoshi Abe Dojinshi that was the basis for the Nie Under 7 anime. Now that I see this, this is actually, I'm pretty certain, a guidebook that was published after the anime was released. However, it was 300 yen, so actually, this is a manga, so what this might be, feel free, if you know what this is, feel free to tell me. This might be a commercial republication of the original self-published Nia Under 7 Dojinshi. I mentioned that I like collecting, that I like collecting books from unusual titles. I imagine not very many of you have ever come across or seen a Serious no Densetsu anime book. This was described as a children's picture book. I expected it to be thin and large. It's actually a bit thicker and not as wide as I anticipated. The heft on this is substantial. This feels like a much more sturdy, much more heavy printed book than I anticipated it would be. This was 500 yen. Because it's such an obscure vintage title, I'm happy to have it. Because the book is such quality, I'm surprised and more so happy to have it. I am pleased to have acquired the very first issue of My Anime magazine. This was historically, this was not the first anime magazine. It was certainly not the last anime magazine. My Anime is no longer in print. However, through the 80s, I believe possibly into the early 90s, My Anime was one of the big primary monthly anime magazines. So the ability to pick up the very first issue, this was 700 yen. I thought was interesting, so that's why I wanted to pick this up since I had the opportunity. What we have here, actually, are, let's see, there we go. All right, first, I mentioned that I like Kimono Friends. These are Kimono Friends towels. This one, hopefully you can see, and you can tell by the color, is the Serval towel. And as you can see, this one is the Araiguma towel. These were $2 each. So for the price, these would certainly look gorgeous hanging up on a wall if I had wall space to hang them up. I will probably just tuck these away somewhere and just be glad that I have them at $2 a piece. This is a sexy Girls in Panzer towel. You can see the attractive cleavage. Not to be sexist, I apologize. But, you know, Bishoujo or Bishoujo. And this was $1. So a large, sexy Girls in Panzer towel for $1 was simply too much for me to pass up. I did pick up several more film comics. Let's see. This selection is the Slayer's Next film comics. I have a volume 1. This completes the set of 1 to 5. Unfortunately, the volume 5 does not have the obi. In other words, you can see the paper advertising wrap slip around the bottom of it. However, this was the only copy available, so I'll take what I can get. So at $1 each, it's nice to simply finish off this particular set of film comics. Similarly, I didn't even consciously realize that there were 2 volumes in this Ghost Sweeper Mikami film comic series. So I've had the first volume for many, many years. Since I just discovered that there was a concluding second volume available for 250 yen, I purchased it to finish off my 2-volume set. Somewhere I have the first of 3 Naruto TV film comics. This is the 3rd volume. The 2nd volume should be in this order somewhere. These were 200 yen a piece. So for 200 yen a piece to finish off my set, I'm willing to do that. I mentioned that I like collecting books from obscure shows. In Japan, Orochimaru is certainly not obscure at all. Very, very well known, very long running. In America, Orochimaru is not well known at all. This first Orochimaru film comic was 200 yen, so I'll be glad to add this representation for the show into my collection. This is another item that ends up being smaller than I expected. This is a Denpa Ona to Seishun Otoko. Did I get that? Holy crap. Did I get that right? Denpa Shoujo to Seishun Otoko? I haven't even said that name in Japanese in 10 years? Did I actually get that right? I think I may have actually gotten that name right. But the character in a fish costume, this is a fabric cloth. I expected it to be a little bit bigger than it is. It is folded, but it was also 100 yen. So I think just for the novelty of it, it's worth 100 yen to me. Similarly, this is a Nami and Robin canvas style Wano Country One Piece cloth. It's sort of a burlap. It may be difficult to see, but it is the two girls in kimono. This was 200 yen. There was a matching Luffy, but, you know, the girls are more attractive to me, so I ended up only buying this one. I just love getting unusual, novel, weird anime stuff. This is what I would consider unusual, novel, and weird. This is a cloth, reusable book cover. And moreover, you may be able to tell what this is. This is based on the Nissan Cup Noodle promotional crossover with One Piece. So you can see that these are the One Piece characters in contemporary Tokyo high school uniforms. So this cloth reusable book cover is something that I would find very, very unusual. It was 300 yen, definitely worth that price to me just for the unique novelty of it. I mentioned that I purchased a few Stitch items. This is a Lilo and Stitch pencil kit. Apparently it includes a protractor and ruler inside here. I'm hoping that this is distinctively Japanese. I don't know if it is or not. The packaging is Japanese. So again, as I mentioned, I purchased this to pass along to a friend that collects. I did not think that the Hirage Hime or Sleeping Princess movie was exceptional. It really wasn't as good as I hoped that particular movie would be. But I did discover that there are a series of Ichiban Kuji. I don't even know what these are. I mean, placemat? I guess they're a little small for placemats. They're a little bit small for hand cloths. Like hot plate rests, small napkins. But this one was Kokonoe, the main character from Hirage Hime. I simply haven't seen very much merchandise based on Hirage Hime. That's what made this unique and interesting to me for 150 yen. This is substantial. This book, this hardcover, large coffee table size illustration book, is the art of the Puzzle and Dragon cell phone game, which has had 4 anime television series. Is it more than 4 television series now? Puzzle and Dragon does tend to have very, very elaborate looking monster designs. This hardcover book with the obi was 200 yen. A version without the obi was, I think, 100 yen. I decided, all right, I'll spend the extra 75 cents to get one complete with the wraparound obi. I can see on here that the previous price on this, I paid 200 yen. The previous price was 1,500 yen. And the cover price on it is $20. So I got it at 90% off. This is I bought this because it was a very, very attractive looking Hatsune Miku. I'm reading the back. Clear file and calendar set. It's a little bit thicker than I imagined, so it might be a little bit more substantial in there than I expected. But judging by the price, this was 150 yen, so a little under $1.50. It's just simply attractive looking. I did purchase one. I don't remember if I bought 1 or 2 Magi anime illustration books. I did not know beyond the fact that they were based on magi, I didn't know anything about them, so I didn't know exactly how big, in terms of how many pages the books were. I didn't know exactly what dimensions the books were. This one was 150 yen, so judging by the look of it, the size of it, this looks like a pretty nice anime illustration book for 150 yen. The original Japanese cover price on it is 980 yen, which is actually, even then, still a pretty good price for an anime book these days. I did purchase a number of Dojinshi, which I will run through pretty quickly. This one is, perhaps you can tell, a Zero no Tsukaima book. I apologize, I have to censor most of it. This one I will probably keep for myself. I know that this one will be full color. This, hopefully the bottom half is not quite so provocative that it will drive anyone away. I'm censoring the top half. Clearly, this is a Re:Zero Dojinshi, full color. This book was $1. I'll have to take a look at it to decide whether I'm keeping this one or not, or if I'm going to set that one aside to sell at some point. This is a Kizumonogatari series collection of clear files. There are 4 clear files in this. I thought the top one was just a very attractive looking design. This set of 4 clear files was $1. I also picked up this particular 2-pack of Dragon Ball clear files, because this one clearly includes the very sexy, attractive-looking Android 21. I don't know a lot about her, but I just love her character design. This was, again, 100 yen. I mentioned that I picked up a couple of Stitch items. This is a Tokyo Disneyland Stitch clear file. This was 200 yen in package. So this I will be passing along to my collector friend of a friend. I am a fan of Baka Test. This is a set of, actually, judging by the back, I'm guessing that there are 2 clear files in this set. This set of 2 clear files, there are 5 total. There are 5 total sets, as you can see, and each set has 2 clear files. This was 100 yen for the 2 clear files. Traditionally, I prefer to collect shikijiki. However, shikijiki are becoming increasingly rare, so nowadays I simply collect what I can get. I typically don't really like Bishonen. I was not a big fan of the Carnival anime. I think I only watched the first episode. However, this Carnival anime illustration guidebook was only 100 yen. I don't have any books from Carnival. As I mentioned, I like collecting books from shows that I don't have anything representative from. So for 100 yen, I decided, Bishonen or not, I'm interested at $1. Or, $4, $3 and change shipped. This I discovered through random browsing on the Mandarake website. This is a Yoshihisa Tagami magazine. I don't know how many of these there were. Judging by what I could find, this was a monthly magazine and different months were based on different artists. However, for those of you that may not recognize, Yoshihisa Tagami is the creator of Gray Digital Target. I'm a bit of a fan, so this particular magazine of Yoshihisa Tagami manga was $2. So just for the age of it and the uniqueness of it, I decided it was worth me getting as an unusual novelty. I don't know exactly what this book is. This is TV anime. No, I believe that's Sekai. I don't read kanji especially well, but I believe this is TV anime world, and you can probably tell from what's on it the age of this book. This is 1977, a 1977 book on television anime. This was. It has a sticker on it for 500 yen. I actually paid $2 for it. So a anime guidebook from 1977 for $2. Sure, I'll take that. And I'm sure that if I'm running long, you've probably already abandoned this video. Or otherwise, if I'm running long, Phil will tell me. As I mentioned, there was a servo in here somewhere, so she has turned up. This is a little smaller than I expected it to be, but this is a Hatsune Miku, Sakura Miku wall poster. I believe this should be a... It's not. I was under the impression that this was printed on plastic. It is not. It is printed on paper. However, it is attractive. This, I'm going to say this could not have been more than $1. I'm sure this was probably 100 yen. Had I realized it was paper, I probably would have foregone, because I did think it was printed on plastic. But now that it's here, I certainly don't mind that it's here. This, again, is much more substantial than I anticipated it would be. This is a Hatsune Miku binder with a pad, the clipboard, with a pen. I thought that this was going to be very small. I thought this was going to be relatively digest-sized. This was 200 yen. See, the image made me think this was small. If I'd realized that they were this big, maybe I would have bought all 3 of them. I didn't realize it was as large as it is. So I'm quite happy that this is pretty sizable. This I might actually use. This surprises me. I apologize that off the top of my head I've forgotten the Japanese name for fans, but clearly this is a Girls in Panzer fan. This was... I don't see a original retail price on it, but my price was $2. It is plastic with paper covering. Simply an attractive display piece for $2. This is a Kimono Friends premium big blanket. So, judging by how it is folded up, I'm guessing this is probably a small throat blanket. Probably the size of, for example, an airline blanket. But once again, when you consider that if, for example, you could hang this up on a door and it would probably fill an entire door, it's a pretty nice display item for $4. I did pick up another Lupin III Fujiko Mine figure pen. The last time I tried to buy a second one of these, they were sold out. This time, I believe the Jigen, and the Fujiko were available. Not so interested in the guys, so I just bought the Fujiko. $2. I will probably put this up for sale at some local convention at some point. This is a, let's see, Amazaki Hatsuyo-san Dojinshi. It looks like the covers are both nudity free, so I'll display this. This was a 100 yen Dojinshi. Again, provocative looking, very attractive looking Dojinshi for 100 yen. I did make an effort to buy some Dojinshi this time around. This is a Studio Juan Waiting in the Summer, because I apologize, I forgot the Japanese title, Dojinshi. Typically, I'm not a fan of Studio Juan. Studio Juan tends to draw a lot of futanari, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't know the content of this book. However, I thought this was a provocative enough cover for 100 yen that if I don't like it myself, I can try to sell it. I believe somewhere in here, there should be 2 copies of this Fruits Basket Ero Dojinshi, because some of you may think, oh, that's disgusting. How could you corrupt our pure, innocent Toru and Fruits Basket with erotica? I partially agree. I get the point. On the other hand, part of me thinks it's unexpected. That's unique. Really? Fruits Basket? Arohong? For 100 yen, I couldn't resist. I believe I actually bought 2 of these, so I would have one for my permanent collection, and then one I could possibly resell. This is a Concorde Ero Dojinshi for 100 yen. Not sure. I think maybe I can pass the bottom of this. Maybe, but just to be certain, I don't know anything about this Dojinshi at all. I think it's a cute, hopefully I'm not offending anyone. This is not my intention. But it's a cute, thick-boned girl. She's cute. The book was 100 yen. I may keep this one for myself. I may end up selling this one. But for the price, I'm willing to take a chance on it. This is a Star Go Club, Jiyobari Mashimaru, Gundam 00 Dojinshi. Some of you that have followed the Arrow community for a long time will know Jiyobari Mashimaru. He did have a number of Arrow manga titles translated and published in English. I'm gonna have to censor most of the cover of this Estargo Club, Queen's Blade, Kentalia, Dojinshi. Once again, this is also my Estargo Club. This is another Jiyobari Mashimaru book. I tend to think that some of his stuff is a little bit too fetishistic for my taste, but when I can pick up his books for $1, if I don't like them, I'm sure I can pass them along. I believe this is also a Kantai Collection book. I don't know anything about it, but it was 100 yen, so I decided I'd take a chance. I do not recall, actually, if this was a Fate series or if this was a Utawareru Mono series. Dojinshi. Once I open it up and look at it, I'm sure I will remember. But I think I have seen a scan of this one. I remember it being cute inside. So since this was only 100 yen, I decided I would buy it. I think this is clean enough. I don't know. I think the back cover also is clean enough. I don't know anything at all about this Dojinshi. It simply struck me as cute looking. It was 100 yen, just a blind buy. This, I believe, I don't remember if this was a color Dojinshi or not, but it's a chunky elf girl Dojinshi. Again, I don't mean chunky in any kind of derogatory sense. It's just a pure description. Sorry if I offend anyone. I thought she was sexy looking. For 100 yen, I decided to buy this. Not familiar with this particular Dojinshi. I do not recall. I think that that's Kazumi from Dead or Alive. I want to say that I think that's Kazumi from Dead or Alive for this reason. That I think that that's Kazumi from Dead or Alive, but I'm not 100% certain. But the color in the costume looks similar. I'm regretful that the box here is in pretty bad shape. But this figure was 1,200 yen, pretty inexpensive. I owned one of these Kazumi figures many, many years ago when they were brand new. I put it out for display. I had it out for display for years. And regrettably, because it's not porcelain, because it's PVC, it became top heavy and it gradually leaned to the extent that it would fall over. I gave it to a friend who was going to drill a hole up through the legs and reinforce it with a piece of steel. That friend simply never gave it back to me. It's been 20 years. I miss having this figure, so I decided I'm never going to get my original one back again. I'll just buy a new one. Unfortunately, I will probably have to keep it in package because otherwise it's going to end up sagging once again. Here's the second Naruto Dojinshi, film comic that I said that I purchased. I like purchasing guidebooks. Seika Yakuin Domo. I believe this is first television series. I believe it's first television series because it doesn't have an asterisk out here for the second series. Seika Yakuin Domo is one of my favorite anime television series, so I'm happy to have a piece of merchandise from the show, particularly a guidebook from the show. I think that this is a mental specialist da capo Dojinshi. I'm not certain. This is a Yoshimasa. Yes. Yoshimasa Watanabe Dojinshi. I am personally fond of Yoshimasa Watanabe mental specialist's prescription Dirty Pair Dojinshi. Clearly, this is not a Dirty Pair Dojinshi. However, it was only 100 yen, so I decided to make an exception for it. This, I don't know anything about this. Judging by the back cover, it's a very provocative, cute, young girl, Ero Dojinshi. It was 100 yen. I am never going to collect all of the Dirty Pair Dojinshi, but I do pick up the ones that I can when I can. This is one of the Dirty Pair Flash, which is my lower priority, but it's still Dirty Pair. Dirty Pair Flash Dojinshi that I did not have in my collection. This was a surprisingly affordable 200 yen. I have no idea at all what this Dojinshi is. It was 400 yen. Again, I have no clue what it is, but it is the Wasted Force. Don't sue me, please. And it involves, I guess, Admiral Akbar working in a convenience store. I have no idea. I guess that's Kylo Ren in Seifuku. I have no clue at all what this is. Some kind of unlicensed fan parody comic for $4. Oh, hell yeah, this is worth it to me. Actually, I will throw this over to Phil so he can take a look at whatever that is. For many, many years, I've wanted a copy of the original Yoshitoshi Abe old home Dojinshi that was the basis for the Haibane Renmei anime television series. This was relatively expensive. This was $20. Dojinshi do get more expensive, but as you can see, when I'm buying a lot of Dojinshi for $1, spending $20 is a bit much for Dojinshi. However, this is the original, very first volume Dojinshi that was the basis for Yoshitoshi Abe's Haibane Renmei anime television series. This was worth $20 to me. I have no idea whatsoever what this is. This was some sort of Tim Burton-esque weird critter monsters Dojinshi. I have no idea. It's Tim Burton-esque looking, bizarre, and cute, grotesque. It was 200 yen. It was a blind buy. I recently watched Goro Miyazaki's Studio Ghibli CG TV special, Ayato Majo. I realized that there was a Roman album for it before I watched the TV special. I decided I already have I believe a complete set of Studio Ghibli Roman albums. So when I discovered that there was one for Earwig and the Witch or Ayato Majo, I decided I definitely wanted it in my collection. This was 1,200 yen. I was not as pleased with the TV special as I hoped to be, but I'm still very happy to have the book. I think I can show this. There's no graphic nudity on it. I don't know what this Dojinshi is, but it was 100 yen, blind buy. This looks safe. There are a billion Kimono Friends Dojinshi. There are so many of them that I'm not even attempting to collect them. This one had an attractive looking cover. It was 100 yen. I figured, what the hell? I think I can get away with that. She's pretty much covering herself up. This was another blind buy. This was 100 yen Dojinshi. It's colorful looking. It's cute looking. Blind buy. If I don't like it, I'll put it up for sale at some local comic convention. I ended up purchasing a variety of Dojinshi from this particular series. Actually, from the same artist circle. I think they may be from the same series. I'm not entirely certain. Judging by the back of this one is a School Rumble book. It was 100 yen. I have to cover up most of this one. A Strike Witches Dojinshi. This was 100 yen. Have to cover up at least some of this one. You might be able to tell from this what one of my personal fetishes is. That's why I purchased this for 100 yen. This I can tell already from the back cover. Oops. All right. Was a Yuge Dojinshi. I think Yuge is just a lovely, lovely character designer. I really love the very soft, very lush, very gorgeous character design illustrations by the artist Yuge. When I can pick up, I don't know if Yuge is male or female, but when I can pick up Yuge Dojinshi for $1, I'm very happy to. I am trying to complete a collection of Tsubura Hase's Street Fighter Dojinshi. These are the Shiri Chung series. I believe I am now down to missing 2 of them. This one is volume 7. So I believe there are just 2 more of them. There is a Sakura and a Rose book that I still need to get in this series. this very provocative cover Dragon Quest book. This was 100 yen. This one I will probably put up for sale at some future convention in the local area. Just to be on the safe side, I will censor this. I don't know anything about this Dojinshi. Okay. I could translate the name, but I'd probably get in trouble, so I'm not even going to translate what the title is. How often do you come across Slayers, adult Dojinshi these days? They don't come across that frequently. This one simply looked cute. It was 100 yen. Sure, why not? This, okay, thankfully we're safe here. This is a Onegai My Melody Dojinshi. I thought it had a colorful, provocative cover. It was 100 yen. If I don't like it and decide not to keep it, I will put it up for sale at a local convention. I am ashamed to admit that I didn't even, prior to this order, I didn't even realize that this book existed. I'm not even sure that this book is listed on the Dojinshi database. But NNDP has released, over the years, a number of Dirty Pair Dojinshi. I believe I have almost all of them. I believe at this point now that I have this one, I believe there are only 2 NNDP Dirty Pair Dojinshi, or from the NNDP circle, that I still need. I'm missing volume 1, and I am missing the K sister book to this, which I did know existed. But I'm happy to pick up yet another Dirty Pair Dojinshi. And this one for only 200 yen. I think I can get away with this. This is I'm not sure what this is based on. I can probably figure it out pretty easily. But this was 100 yen. I figured if I don't like it myself, I will put this one up for sale. I believe that there were 2 of these. I don't remember the circle name for these. These are Bakuman Dojinshi. They have very, very provocative covers. I'll show you the front and what I can show you of the back. These were 100 yen. So at that price, I figured I would pick this up. Likely to offer for sale someplace. I mentioned that I had picked up, yes, I did. Maybe all of these are School Rumble books. Because here's another one of them from Akabe Soft. Let me see here. There should be, here is, okay, that's one. And this is one as well. Same series. This one has a clean cover, which was 100 yen. This is from the same series. Again, 100 yen. This one I have to censor the cover on. Some other books here. I have no clue at all what this is. Yeah, I have no idea. However, it looks cool as hell. This was 100 yen. Complete blind buy. I'm hoping that it surprises me. I mentioned that I picked up 2 of the Fruits Basket book. This is another Kankare Dojinshi. Hopefully I'm not going to get banned or kicked off YouTube for this. It's a parody of Working, alright? See, it's a parody, it's a joke, right? There's no nudity, right? It's just wordplay. Those of you that follow hentai and adult Dojinshi will, I'm sure, be familiar with Yoikura Kendo. This Yoikura Kendo Kyoen Diners Dojinshi from 2008 was 100 yen. So because Yoikura Kendo art is really lovely, definitely worth 100 yen. That will go in my permanent collection. This, as you can probably guess, a lolly Kantai collection book. I'm not particularly a fan or follower of Kantai collection. There are just so many Kantai collection Dojinshi that a lot of them end up being super cheap. This is Cinderella Festa. Yes. An Idolmaster Cinderella Girls book. As you can probably guess from the title. Again, it was 100 yen. Once again, this from the same circle, another Idolmaster book. This one was 100 yen. I think that's safe. Really, really gorgeous looking cover of Yoko on this Gurren Lagann Dojinshi for 100 yen. It tells you exactly what you're getting for, because the title was Oppai Yoko-san. Yes, the Tetrodotoxin Bakuman Dojinshi. Apparently this one has a cover that is clean enough that I can show it. This is an Angel Stroke Dojinshi. This is volume 50. The Angel Stroke Dojinshi typically cover a variety of different titles. I believe this is Monster Princess on the front. I think that's Fate series on the back. This, apologies on having to censor so much of this, but you can probably tell this is a Shinobu Monogatari series Dojinshi for 100 yen. This, I think we can get away with. You can probably, I'm sure, tell an Astro Creep Dojinshi of Asuya from Sword Art Online for 100 yen. If I don't like it, I'll offer it up for sale. I mentioned that I bought several books from this series. Here is yet another one from the same series. Here is another one from the same series that I have to censor. Another one from the same series that I think I do not have to censor. I purchased, let's see, if I fold this, I can show you as much of this as I can. Cute lolly girls. Alpha to Yukina Nakamatai presents. I'm not sure what franchise this is based on or if it's original. However, it was 100 yen. I picked up 2 of them because I figured it looked cute enough that I definitely want to keep one of them for myself at the minimum. Hopefully I'm not boring my cameraman or the audience too terribly much. We are getting close to the end now. I think this is safe. Without me having to tell you, I hope maybe you'll be able to recognize that this is a Gatchaman Crowds Dojinshi. I think this is safe. Once again, same circle. I do not know anything at all about these Dojinshi. They simply look colorful. They look cute. For 100 yen, I decided I would take a risk on it. Apparently, Okay, I think we can. I'm gonna take a risk and see if we can get away with that. Technically, there's no graphic nudity. Clearly, it is a Taisho, same circle, another second Shinobu Monogatari series Dojinshi. I know that I did buy two of these. I have no idea what this is. It vaguely looks like Sakura Taisen 4 or 3. Which one of them occurs in America? Maybe it's 3 that's set in America. I think this is an original Dojinshi, however. But it looked attractive, so I went ahead at $1 and bought 2 of them. I'm not, okay, yeah, Monster Hunter. I was going to say I'm not sure what this is based on. The bottom of the book tells me it's a Monster Hunter book for $1. This is a Black Dog Strike Witches book. I like Black Dog, however, his art tends to get really, really redundant. These books all seem very, very, very similar. But I do have a number of them, and this one was $1. I've been buying this series of Dojinshi. Here is another one. I think I can get away with censoring just this much of it. I believe this is, yes. This is another Yomikura Kendo Dojinshi. Once again, you can tell from the cover illustration why I bought this. The primary reason why I bought, primary reason why I bought this is because it is an animal Kiriminzu Dojinshi partially by Ururobus. If you're not aware, Ururobus is Hiroyuki Utakane. So Hiroyuki Utakane is gorgeous, very refined pencil work. He was one of the first adult manga artists to have Arrow manga published in English. I do happen to really like Animal Kiriminzu, so pick that up. This is a Queensblade book designed to parody the RPG books. I think I can get away with showing that. I think I can get away with showing that. This, you can probably tell from the cover why I bought it. It was $1. When I said that I thought that the Cutie Honey notebook would be a school notebook, I thought it would be something like this. I anticipate that this is simply ruled paper. Inside, yes, you see, it's just a school notebook. But things like this are just kind of, oh, wow. It actually has taped spine rather than so over the staples. So it's, you would say it's reinforced. You might say that it's more realistic. So this is basically just for the cover. It's just for the novelty of it. But I just think these kind of things are really neat. I like buying notebooks like this, particularly the old ones when I have a chance to. I do have one of these TV and movie roadshow Channel 4 promotional shikijiki. However, the one I have is kind of scratched up. So this one was $10. Again, shikijiki are getting more expensive now. But a Dirty Parrot-tailed shikijiki for $10 is on the cheap end. So since the one I have is in rough shape, scratched up, I wanted to buy a second one that was in nicer condition. So that's why I picked up that one. There are 2 items left in here. I'll save the best for last. This is... Alright, folks, I'm going to cheat a little bit. This is from Her Blue Sky. her blue sky is Sora no Aoso o Shiro Hitoyo. This was feature film 2 years ago. This was a movie. I believe Mari Okada wrote this movie. This was about a girl who grows up playing bass, and the older boy she grew up with who died comes back as a ghost and tries to make amends with the main character's older sister. But this should be a clear poster. It's called, yes, Deluxe Clear Poster. Deluxe Clear Poster, which means that this is printed on semi-transparent, heavy-duty plastic. So these are designed, for example, that you can hang them up in your bathroom. For example, you can hang these up in your shower because they're waterproof, because they're plastic. But this was $1. It is the design of the poster. You can tell from the side of the box what the image looks like. It was $1 for a plastic poster. I figured that was worth it. The final item that I purchased is one of the reasons why I made this order. A lot of the original art available through Mandarake is sold by auction so that they can get the biggest dollar values for it. However, occasionally they do sell original art directly for straight up buying outright prices. And sometimes they happen to acquire original hand-drawn art by Hikari Hayashibara. Now, some of you will already be a little giddy, a little anticipatory hearing that name, Hikari Momonga Club, Hikari Hayashibara. I've heard rumor that Hikari Hayashibara is female. I do not know for certain, but if the artist is indeed female, that makes it a little bit more interesting. But I'm sure that some of you are familiar with Hikari Hayashibara's Lalia manga. I do have one original piece of art by Hikari Hayashibara, but I had an opportunity to buy a original hand-drawn shikishi by Hikari Hayashibara. Apologies that I will have to censor the bottom of this. I may make this illustration available on the AnimeNation forum to everyone, but as you can see, depending on your tastes, this is a lovely hand-drawn. That is as uncensored as I can get it to be. You might be able to see the shibari going on in this image. This was 5,000 yen. So this is a Mandarake certified, one-of-a-kind, hand-drawn Hikari Hayashibara shikishi illustration for $50. So as a fan of Ero manga art, as a fan of Hikari Hayashibara, I was overjoyed to be able to acquire this at the price. So that concludes this particular unboxing. As always, if you have any question about any of these items, feel free to drop an email to me. My personal email address is opligerfj@gmail. I'm always open to conversation. If you'd like to converse with me, I don't mind. You will find that I will not ask you for likes or clicks or Patreon donations because this is not monetized. I do not make a living off this. If you want to contribute through Patreon to support the AnimeNation forum, Gene and I would be very, very grateful. Otherwise, if you've lasted this long spending the time with me, I appreciate it. Hopefully I've kept you entertained. Please check back. I will try to offer up new content whenever something worth sharing comes through my lifetime, I suppose. So, abayo.